Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm talking about being stuck in an edit and some tips to get unstuck out of an edit. And if that's you right now, if you were just editing and you took a break to come to YouTube to try to stress relieve, well, you take a big breath. Just take a minute here, take a big deep breath. You're gonna get through this. You're gonna get this edit done. We've all been there before. I'm there way more than I would like to admit. And I wanna give you a couple tips that I've learned over the past 10, 15 years from editing where I've been stuck, I've been frustrated, and I've been wondering why I work in film. I've been wondering what I was thinking about on set. I was wondering what the cameraman was thinking on set. Sometimes the cameraman was me and I'm thinking, what was I actually doing? And you're so frustrated and you hate the film and you wish you never said yes to the client. But this is normal. What this usually means is a few things. One, you're probably trying something new that you haven't before. So congrats, you are progressing, you are pushing your craft. Number two, you're learning lots. You're realizing where you screwed up. You're realizing where you missed shots. You're realizing where you didn't hold shots long enough. You're realizing where you didn't get enough shots to tell the right story. This is good. You're learning. You're gonna be a better filmmaker. And the thing I would really advise is I have a sticky note on my computer, and whenever I'm finding something that I'm butting up against in my edit, I always type down a little tip for me in the future. And before I go film my next project, I just read all those tips and I go, oh yeah, I need to get more wide shots, or oh, I need to get shots of people in the midst of their stress so I can show the before and after, blah, 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 blah. Write some tips to yourself, to your future self, and your future self will thank you. But I wanna give a couple quick tips right now of how to get out of a stuck, if you're stuck in a rut in a documentary or whatever edit you're doing. Also too, wore my Carhartt American shirt today because I know the coronavirus has been really crazy down in the States and there's been lots of closures. So I'm standing with our neighbors down south. Hope you guys are well. It's been crazy up here in Canada as well. I got lots of American family, but I am full bred. I'm Canadian. I bleed maple syrup. But anyways, let's talk about these tips for editing. So the number one thing I would say, and it's gonna feel cliche, but it's take a break. But the difference is take a break away from your computer. Get away from your computer, because if you're always taking breaks or distraction moments at your computer, I find that I'm subconsciously teaching my brain that my computer space, my desk, is a place where I have permission to be distracted. It's a place where I can actually just let my brain run free, where I like to get up away from my computer, take a walk. Maybe sometimes it's actually leaving my office, or it's going and doing something in a different space in my office. Maybe you're in a tiny room, just get out of the chair. And that's where you should allow yourself to be distracted. That way, when you come back to your desk, it's like your battle station. You're ready to go to battle. You're ready to jump back into the edit. But if you're always just clicking on a new internet tab, if you're scrolling somewhere, that's where you're actually building a rhythm and you're building a bad habit to know, hey, my computer is a place where I can just stress relief and I can just be distracted. No, you want your computer to be where you get work done. You want it to be a place where your brain, where you as a person, you as an editor are disciplined. So make sure if you're distracted, if you want to go look at Instagram, go to somewhere else in the house. But I would also recommend maybe unplugging your router or putting a limit on Instagram. I have a 15-minute limit on Instagram, which at least helps me subconsciously go, shouldn't be on this right now. And it helps me get back to my edit. Number two, I would say if you're stuck in your edit, review footage that you haven't watched or you haven't watched much of. Sometimes you're trying to really work on one clip and really make it work. And that can be for many reasons. Maybe you spent a long time on that shot and you really want it to work. Go back to a timeline and watch something you haven't been watching. And this is the tip I've said in past videos, where lay all your footage in a couple timelines and you can categorize them, where it's B-roll, it's interviews, but put all your footage in one timeline and make sure it's everything from when you hit record to when you hit stop record. And just play this footage, watch some new moments, look at footage from a different angle. You may be inspired or you may realize you've missed something that could really actually help you. Number three tip is I like to go listen to new music. Sometimes listening to the same track over and over again sucks the inspiration out of the music. And if you're like me, music is a really important part of my edit. Music is where I get inspired to edit and cut and change the images. So for me, I like to go listen to a new playlist. I love Music Bed. I love going through all their music. I also use Epidemic Sound. Both are great. I have links below to them. I go to their playlist and it's a quick way for me to find new music and to be inspired. And actually sometimes what I've done, like here in No Country is an Island, we had a lot of footage to go through, and I just found this one crazy track. I threw some footage over top of it, and it was kind of fun. We never used that in our film, No Country is an Island, but I did use a couple clips from that I discovered when I tried that music. I found this song that I was like, this is crazy, I want to try some editing to this. And we didn't actually end up using that sequence. There was no place for it in our film, but there were some shots in there that we found very useful. So try something new. It's good to just be editing anything if it makes you feel like you're progressing, you get that energy back, you stop feeling like a failure, and you get some more momentum to go back and attack the scenes and the sequences that aren't working for you. My number 4 tip, I would say this, is show it to someone who has no idea anything about the project. That can be a friend, a family member. You just show the project to someone who's never seen it before and get their feedback. And what I would say too is ask very specific feedback. Say, which sequences were you most bored during? Or what parts of the film did you not understand? Or did you understand the theme? Or do you understand what the client is trying to sell here? Ask some very specific questions, because if you just ask someone, hey, what do you think? They're not gonna wanna offend you. They'll say, oh, it's good, it's great. I think you could change this, but you know, it's doing good. Ask them very specific feedback, because you're giving them permission to tell you the truth. And that's important. You need the truth in the edit. You need to know what's not working. You need to delete that sequence if it's crap. Well, don't delete it, just move away from it. Make sure you're saving everything. But it's good to get fresh new feedback. You'll get a new perspective that will help you. Now, don't ask too many people, because too many cooks equals like a 30-minute video. If you've seen that one by Tim and Eric, it just goes on and on and on. You need to actually make sure you're not getting too many opinions, because it can get confusing and then you don't know what you're actually trying to accomplish, because everyone's opinions are differing. So ask a few people who haven't seen the film, get their perspective. It's actually really helpful. But prepare your heart, prepare your mind to get some feedback that can actually feel, you know, kind of daunting or feel like you messed up. And if you feel like you messed up, again, it's a great chance to learn from your mistakes or learn from the areas that you can improve on. It's all about improving. Every film I make, I always realize there's things I can improve on. I was just on a shoot down in Texas, and man, there was areas I knew I can improve on, and I'm learning. And every time I go on a shoot, I'm learning and I'm learning. I know that I'm never gonna reach a place where I feel like I've learned everything. The second you feel like you stop learning, I think is when you've realized that you've lost your passion for film, and probably the time that you should quit, because you no longer care about growing or progressing. Because this is really all about growing. Anyways, hope you guys like this video. I hope that you're enjoying your quarantine, as in that you're getting more time to spend with friends and family and learn new things, read some books that you haven't. If you're not reading books, go read some books, get your face away from a screen. You're probably spending way more time, like I know I am, in front of a screen than I normally do, because there's just a lot more time on our hands. But this also is a good time too to go back over old footage that you've just had sitting on hard drives, and maybe try editing something that you never had the time to before. Use this as a chance to be inspired. Use it as a chance to grow and learn new things. But thank you guys for tuning in, as always. If you guys want me to do a live Q&A, you know, I have a little more time on my hands these days, so I'm happy to jump on one and we can do one together. Happy to answer any questions about cinematography and documentary. And if you're gonna ask me what's my favorite camera, I won't tell you, because there is no perfect camera. But I will talk about my FX9 that I just got, and I've been shooting on the C500 as well. And there's some things I love and hate about both cameras. I truly hate about some of the cameras, but then there's some things that I really do love. The FX9, I'm learning it. There's some things that you always scratch your head with Sony that you're like, why did you do that? But once you really start using it and getting used to it, it's a pretty powerful camera. I just wish that it had as much latitude as I've been finding that the C500 has. But overall, very, very powerful camera. Really enjoying the images so far. But I will see you guys in the next one.